Hey, this is my review of Mother! When I left the screening of this pile of garbage, my first thought was, well, that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. My opinion has not changed, but supposedly I'm supposed to change my mind because I found out that this was intended to be told more or less as a hardcore Catholic Bible story. Mindfuck alert! Mother is a confirmed mindfuck because it has symbols. The crystal egg, what does it mean? The blood stain, what does it mean? The yellow water? They all must tie into some... Wait, say again? Oh, it's just a take on the Bible. Again? From the director of Noah? Oh, that explains everything. And I mean everything. There's no need to even talk about it. I don't get what the hubba is about this. Are audiences unaware that the director's jacking off right in front of them? Are people so in awe of the unexplained, of the elusive, that they don't realize how fucking ludicrous this movie is? It brings up all these questions without showing the slightest bit of interest in answering even one of them. It's stuffed with religious, political, and even feminist fodder to make you rethink the whole movie, when really, I just saw the fucking movie, and it gave off the appearance of an overwrought melodrama with all the fun vacuumed out and a lethal needle of God injected in. Mother is a tonal diaper bomb that insists on being so much more than a genre picture, but it still fails on its own as a coherent story. Yes, some fucked up things happen toward the end, but that doesn't signify a mindfuck to me, at least not in the way we're used to. This is not a Christopher Nolan or Charlie Kaufman treatise on the meaning of existence. This is a surface-level biblical allegory, and there's nothing wrong with that inherently. There's a million different ways you can pull that off, but those themes do not equate to a mindfuck. It's just fucked up. There's not that much to think about. Remove all the window dressing and you're left with a shit-smeared broken pane. This movie has all the ingredients to be a campy B-movie romp with an A-list cast. The basic premise is this. Possibly schizophrenic woman unknowingly runs a bed and breakfast with her hubby. Issues of possession and control culminate. Pretty fertile ground for any actors, any ideas, any director, anywhere, but because it's Darren Aronofsky, this isn't going to be as much fun as it sounds. It must be as brutal and demented as humanly possible. This guy's traumatized more crowds than Mel Gibson, and he has to do it. I mean, what can he do when God is standing around on set, arms folded? I didn't like that shot, Darren. Not painful enough. Yeah, God's Jewish, obviously. But, at least I could see what Gibson was going for. You could tell that he, really believed in this shit, but I can't tell whether Aronofsky takes his religious themes as seriously as he does himself. Is he trying to satirize it in the vein of Luis Buñuel? He would have handled this material very well, I believe. It doesn't matter in the end, because the film is not profound no matter how much it wants to be. It wants to comment on all these different facets of our culture, political extremism, and artists' preoccupation with fame, and namely, the loss of control over one's home. But the comments are so shallow and indiscernible that it seems more like an angry teen lashing out than a true brain tickler. I'm sorry, I just can't be a centrist on this one. I stand on one side of the wristlet, you know, the side that stays attached, the body. I'm not gonna fall off with the hand, especially not for a parable this insane. I mean, who likes Bible stories? What have you learned from it? Like, what's so fascinating and intriguing? The Bible is the only book I've ever read that manages to make violence boring, and this film makes about as much sense and is about as pleasant as reading Leviticus. If you're at all familiar with the work of Darren Aronofsky, you know his films are not for the faint of heart. His films don't glorify violence so much as make you feel that you're a part of it. His batter and bruise sadistic style of filmmaking is well known. And while I love intense, soul-crushing tales of woe, I also like to know a little more about why this is happening to the characters and why I should give a shit. See, in Requiem for a Dream, it was very simple. These people are drug addicts. That harsher tone was fitting because it helped convey the message. Kids, stay away from drugs. That film was a success. And it kept more people off of drugs than any DARE campaign ever will. Mother, by contrast, has no purpose in existing, no thesis, no concrete ideas, let alone being a long-winded chore to sit through. All I require is entertainment. Whatever more you want to do with it, that comes later. None of the performances are standouts, with the exception of Javier Bardem. He has an interesting thing with his character that you have to find out for yourself. But Jennifer Lawrence's job is to act dazed and confused, sauntering from room to room with the occasional dizzy spill. You can feel the whole weight of the film pressed on her shoulders throughout, and she does the best she can with the material, but since she possesses less talent than a circus flea, I was not sold on the terror element of her story. She acts like she wants to speak to the manager in her own house. Excuse me, could you move, please? I'm like, it makes you side with the intruders. Of course, the dialogue and the shoddy camera work do her no favors, and that's another thing. You would expect this big studio art house film to be at least well shot, right? Ha 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 ha, you are mistaken. Instead of a clear picture of what's going on, we get 2 hours of swirly cam fixed on the back of J-Law's head like she's on a fucking merry-go-round, and this doesn't seem to be looking to win any awards, I'm sorry. And the CGI? Atrocious. It's the very first observation you can make about the film. It looks cheap, it looks like garbage. Her point of view is the only one. We never get a moment to consider what's really happening, and I understand the intention was to put you in the shoes of this confused, powerless housewife, but intentions don't always pay off. And in that case, if it wanted to be this psychological thriller, it should have stuck to that and not try to be this epic parable looking to bring world peace or something. I think people are too taken aback by the shock value of the film to realize that this is just an overwrought domestic psychodrama. The movie doesn't explore any particular themes until the third act, and when it does, it tries to cram them in all at once. And you better not forget, it's all biblical, so that means woo, scary. What? What the fuck is this garbage? What is it trying to communicate? And who cares? It doesn't have a good story, good characters, nothing. Not that complicated. The only idea that the film takes any time to flesh out is loss of control, and most of the scenes consist of this schizophrenic woman frantically dashing through the house, mishearing, misunderstanding, and it's all constructed as some sort of tasteless joke. And if you want to argue, well, that was the director's intention, then congratulations, you are so much smarter than everyone else. But it's still not good. Some of the events are so absurd, I was wondering if M. Night Shyamalan had a hand in this. At times it feels like an R-rated version of The Visit. There were a million ways this could have worked. Having your house slowly taken over by forces beyond your control should be terrifying if you own a house. So maybe that's my problem, I can only speak for myself, but the way it's presented in the movie, it's like a shitty comedy. Had the film taken a break from the wife's point of view, we could have gotten a better look at the relationship. Especially given the absurdity on display, it would have helped to have a more detached view of the events if you want to pull away from this utterly unintriguing, boring female lead character. There's not enough going on with what the camera is literally focused on for the entirety of the film. There is not enough to her character that makes the rest of the movie stand out. It wants to be two different things at once. You know, Buñuel delighted in shitting on religion and made it clear he was doing so. What is Aronofsky trying to do with it? Where's the vision? We already have this single house established for the entirety of the film. It's already closed quarters. Could we have maybe gotten a glimpse at what made her husband so important to so many people? What was he writing about? I'm all for leaving some things up to interpretation, but there comes a point when a director does it just for the sake of being a magician, and his film becomes muddled as a result. This is what happened to Mother. In my evaluation, the film was presented poorly, the story was bad, nothing fit together, and when it tries to be serious, it's silly. When it's silly, it takes itself way too seriously. I give it a 4 out of 10. I can only recommend it if you like your tuna casseroles half-baked. Educate me on why I'm wrong. I'll be wearing my trench coat and fedora because I'm such a fucking edgelord apparently, awaiting your best shot. And did I get the chance to say thanks for watching? If you like my shit, you know what to do. Holla back, click that sub button, just do it. You know you fucking want to. Alright, go play it. Thank you. Bye.